matuto! Hello, good day everyone! For today's video, we are going to discuss zero and integral exponents. Let us begin the discussion by giving you the definition of the exponent. So what is an exponent? Let's take a look on this given example. We have 3 squared. So itong number 3 na nakasulat in regular number is what we call the base. Okay? So, how about this number 2 na nakasulat ng maliit na number written on the upper right corner of the base? Nasa taas na bahagi ng ating base. So, this is what we call the exponent. So, ang exponent ay tinatawag din nating index or tinatawag din siyang power. Ito yung power na nagdidikta kung ilang beses natin imumultiply si base sa kanyang sarili. Or, exponent tells how many times a number this number is multiplied by itself. Now, for the example, 3 squared or read as 3 raised to the second power, ito ay pwede rin nating sabihin na repeated multiplication. So, meaning to say, ang 3 squared ay dalawang beses natin imumultiply 3 sa kanyang sarili. So, it means it is equal to 3 times 3. So, how about 3 raised to the fourth power? Or simply 3 to the fourth power. So, this is equal to 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Or, minultiply natin ng 4 na beses yung ating base sa kanyang sarili. Nakuha ba? To help us simplify zero and integral exponents, it is necessary that we know or we need to recall the laws of exponents. So, the first one is the product of a power, or a raised to m times a raised to n. So, it states that it is equal to a raised to the power of m plus n. So, what have you noticed? Here in the product of a power, if we have the same base, or if we're going to get the product of two expressions having same bases, parehas yung kanyang base, we only need to add their exponents. Kaya siya naging m plus n. Okay? Let us take a look on this example. We have x squared times x to the fourth power. So here, parehas lamang yung ating base. So we have exponents of 2 and 4. So in order to following the rule of product of a power, we only need to copy the base, the same base, and add the exponents. Add their exponents. So we have 2 plus 4. And that is equal to 2 plus 4 is equal to 6. So therefore, x squared times x to the fourth is equal to x raised to the sixth power. Another, 2 cubed times 2 squared. So this is equal again to 2. Yan, kopyahin labang natin yung same base. So we have 2 raised to 3 plus 2. I-add ulit natin yung kanilang exponent. So 2 raised to the 3 plus 2 power, or simplify natin si 3 plus 2 and that is equal to 5. So meaning, it is equal to 2 raised to the 5th power. If we can still simplify the expression, let us simplify it. 2 raised to the 5th power is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 times 2. Or, minultiply ng 5 beses si base. And that is equal to 32. Next rule is what we call the quotient of a power. Quotient of a power states that when a raised to the m power is divided by a raised to the n power, it is equal to a raised to the m minus n power. So meaning to say, kung magdi-divide tayo ng dalawang expressions having the same basis, again, we need to subtract their exponents. So we have a raised to the m minus n power. Let us have this example. We have y raised to the 7th power divided by y raised to the 4th power. If you notice, they have the same basis. So meaning to say, we can follow its rule or the quotient of a power rule. So this is equal to copy the base, copy the same base, and then subtract their exponents. Numerator minus the denominator. So we have 7 minus 4. And simplifying it, it is equal to y cubed because 7 minus 4 is equal to 3. So we have y raised to the 7th power divided by y raised to the 4th power is equal to y cubed. Next, if the given is 2 raised to the 8th power divided by 2 raised to the 5th power, it is equal to 2 raised to the 8 minus 5 power. Or, kinopya natin yung same base and then subtract their exponents. 8 minus 5, it is equal to 3. So, therefore, it is equal to 2 cubed. And 2 cube ay pwede pa nating i-simplify into 2 times 2 times 2, which is equal to 8. Okay? Let us have another rule, which is what we call power of the power. So it states that when m raised to the m power is raised to the n power, ibig sabihin, doble yung power. Kaya nga tinawag siyang power of a power. A raised to the m is raised to the power of n. And that is equal to a raised to the mn. So ano ang ginawa natin sa kanyang exponents? Doon sa dalawang power. Okay, i-multiply lamang natin yung dalawang power, si m at saka si n. So meaning to say, a raised to the m raised to the power of n is equal to a raised to the m n power. M times n power. Let's have an example. First, we have x to the 5th power raised to the 3rd power. So, pwede natin ganito yung ating expression, meaning we can apply the power of a power. Power with another power. So, that is equal to x, copy yung base, and then multiply the exponents or the powers. We have 5 times 3. 5 times 3, simplifying, is equal to 15. So therefore, when x to the 5th power is raised to the power of 3, that is equal to x raised to the 15th power. Another example. We have 4 cubed raised to the 2nd power. So again, applying the power of a power rule, we have, okay, we need to multiply 3 and 2, or the exponents, or the powers. So we have 4 raised to the 3 times 2 power. So that is equal to 3 times 2 is equal to 6. So copy our base, which is 4. So that is equal to 4 raised to 6. Meaning to say, 4 cubed raised to the 2nd power is equal to 4 raised to the 6th. And we all know that when our base is a numerical number, we can still simplify it. Isi-simplify natin siya, and that is equal to, ano ang ating exponent? Or yung power natin? 6. So, ibig sabihin, i-multiply natin si 4, 6 times. Not 4 times 6, yun yung pagkakamali or doon nalilito yung iba. Minsan, namumultiply nila si 4 times 6. So that is obviously wrong. Kasi yung power, it indicates repeated multiplication of the base. Ilang beses mo multiply natin yung base sa kanyang sarili. Meaning, 4 raised to 6 means 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4 times 4. 6 na beses. At kapag minultiply nyo ang 4 ng 6 na beses, that will be equal to 4,096. So, ibig sabihin, 4 cubed raised to the second power is equal to 4,096. Let us proceed to the next rule. So this is power of a product rule. So power of a product rule is when two expressions are multiplied and is raised with a power. So si A and B minultiply at may power parehas na M. So this is equal to A raised to M, B raised to the M power. So what happened with our exponents? Yan. Ang exponent natin ay dinistribute sa bawat term ng ating expression. Kaya si A ay nagkaroon ng power na M at si B ay nagkaroon ng power na M. Okay, so that is the power of a product rule. Now, let's have an example. First example is xy raised to the power of 3. So this is equal to, yan. So, si 3, dinistribute natin kay x, kaya naging x cube. Si 3, dinistribute natin kay y, kaya naging y cube. So, that is the answer. Next. When 2y is raised to the power of 4. So, we have two terms. We have two terms here, the 2 and the y. So, that is equal to, yan, distribute natin si 4 kay 2. We have 2 raised to the 4th power and then y to the 4th power or y raised to the 4th power. And since we have numerical, which is 2, yung ating base, so we will have or we can simplify 2 raised to 4 into 2 times 2 times 2 times 2 or 4 na beses i-multiply si 2. So that is equal to 16. Then copy y to the 4th power. So we have 2y raised to the 4th power is equal to 16y to the 4th power. Next. For the given example, 3x squared raised to the 3rd power or kinuha yung cube ng 3x squared. So that is equal to, meron ulit tayong dalawa, yung 3 and then si x squared. I-distribute natin si cube sa bawat isa. So we have 3 cube and then x squared ay minultiply ba by 3. Tama ba? Yan. So that is equal simplifying. Unahin natin si 3 cube. Ang 3 cube means 3 times 3 times 3. And that is equal to 3 times 3 is 9. 9 times 3 is, yes, 27. And then x raised to the 2 times 3 power is equal to, imumultiply lang natin. 2 times 3 is equal to 6. So therefore, 3x squared when cube is equal to 27x to the 6th power. The last rule in the laws of exponent is the power of a quotient rule. So it states that when A is divided by B and is raised to the power of M, so that is equal to A raised to M divided by B raised to the M power. If you notice, the power is distributed to the numerator and the denominator. Okay, so let's have an example. First, we have x divided by 3 raised to the power of 2. When 2 or the exponent is distributed to the numerator and the denominator, that is equal to x raised to the second power divided by 3 raised to the second power. And since our base here is a number, we're going to simplify it. So first, copy the numerator, the x squared, divided by 3 squared means 3 times 3. And that is equal to 9. So therefore, x divided by 3 is raised to the power of 2 is equal to x squared divided by 9. Let's have another example. 1/5 cube. What is 1/5 cube? So that is equal to, yan. So we need to distribute the power to the numerator. So we have 1 cube and the power cube to the denominator, which is 5. So let us simplify. 1 cube is equal to 1 times 1 times 1, and that is equal to 1. 5 cube means 5 times 5 times 5, and that is equal to 125. So therefore, when 1/5 is cube, that is equal to 1 over 125. In the process of performing the laws of exponents, it may result to a positive, negative, or zero exponents. So let us first discuss the zero exponents. Let's have this example. Let us simplify a square divided by a square. So this will be equal to, when it is expressed in a repeated multiplication, a squared is equal to a times a. Tama ba? At itong denominator natin, ganun din, a times a. So, applying cancellation, we can have, makakancel natin si a, so matitira na lang dito ay 1. Tama ba? Sa denominator, 1 din. So, therefore, that is equal to 1. So, that is when our process is through the repeated multiplication. But applying the laws of exponents or the quotient of a power rule, wherein it states that when a is raised to the m power divided by a raised to n power, our a is raised to the m minus n. So, isusubtract lamang natin yung kanilang exponents. So, let's have this. So, we have a squared divided by a squared. Ma-apply natin kasi same base lang tayo. Same bases. So, we have a, si 2 minus 2. Numerator and the denominator. And 2 minus 2 is equal to 0. So, therefore, since alam naman natin na ang a squared divided by a squared is equal to 1, so therefore, ang a raised to 0 is equal to 1. Okay? Always remember that. So, ibig sabihin, for any variable or a number a, where a is not equal to 0, when a raised to the 0 power, it is equal to 1. Okay? This time, let us have an example wherein a raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, ibig sabihin dito, any number or any variable that is raised to 0, that is equivalent to 1. Like, for example, 4 raised to 0, it is equal to 1. Another, 100 raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, kahit gaano pa kalaki or kaliit yung number, when it is raised to 0, that is equal to 1. Even when a is equal to a variable, x raised to 0, that is equal to 1. So let us take a look on this given example. For example number 1, we have 12x to 0 or x raised to 0. Dito sa ating given expression, si 0 ay exponent nino or kaninong power si 0? Kay 12 ba o kay x? Okay, very good. Ang 0 ay power lamang ni x, hindi ni 12. Si 12 ay may sariling power, which is equal to 1. Hindi nga lamang natin nakikita kasi invisible si 1. And here, ang x ang may raised to 0. Now, apply the rule of a raised to 0 is equal to 1. Sabihin, itong x raised to 0 ay equal na kay 1. So, simplifying, that will be equal to 12 times 1. At kapag sinimplify natin or binultiply natin sa 12 times 1, that is equal to 12. Okay? Let's have another. Quantity of 12x or the product of 12x is raised to the power of 0. Now here, kaninong power si 0? Kay 12 ba? Or kay x? Okay, so dito, hindi lamang kay 12, hindi lamang kay x. Ang 0 ay pagmamay-ari ni 12x kasi nasa loob sila ng parentheses. Nakuha? Okay, so ibig sabihin dito, we can apply the laws of exponent. Wherein, yung 0 ay i-distribute natin kay 12 at ng kay x. So we have 12 raised to 0 and x raised to 0. And that is equal to, ano ang 12 raised to 0? Very good. That is equal to 1. How about x raised to 0? Again, that is equal to 1. And now, let us simplify 1 times 1, and that is equal to 1. So therefore, ang 12 times x raised to 0 power is equal to 1. Okay? Next, number 3. The given is x raised to 0 plus 3 multiplied by x plus 3 or quantity of x plus 3 raised to the power of 0. How are we going to simplify this? Isa-isahin natin. Unang quantity, x raised to 0, we have 1. Nakuha? Plus 3. Kinopya lamang natin yung 3. And then proceed tayo sa panalawa nating quantity. We have x plus 3 raised to 0. Since ang x plus 3, ang buong x plus 3 or yung nasa loob na expression ng sa parentheses, yun ang may raised to 0. Ibig sabihin, ang buong ito ay equal sa 1. So therefore, bakit simplify na natin? 1 plus 3 is equal to 4, and 4 times 1 is equal to 4. Nakuha ba? Good. Another example is simplify 45a raised to the 4th b squared divided by 5a raised to the 4th b. Now, in order to simplify these, we need to apply the quotient of a power. So let's have this. This will be 45 divided by 5 is equal to 9. A raised to the 4th divided by a raised to the 4th, ay i-apply natin dyan ang quotient of a power. Kaya i-minus natin ang 4 minus 4. And then, B, kopyahin si common bases, B, and then, subtract their exponents. 2 minus, ito po ay merong 1. So, we have 2 minus 1. Nakuha ba? Ulitin ko, 45 divided by 5, 9. A raised to 4th divided by a raised to 4th is equal to a raised to 4 minus 4. And then b squared divided by b is equal to b raised to the 2 minus 1. That is applying the quotient of a power. Now, let us simplify. That is equal to 9. Kopyahin si 9. 4 minus 4 is equal to 0. That is 8 raised to 0. 2 minus 1 is equal to 1. So, we have b raised to 1. Nakuha? So, that is equal to, may masisimplify pa tayo dyan. That is a raised to 0. Alam naman natin that a raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, therefore, that is equal to 9 times 1 times ang b raised to 1 ay equal sa b. No need to indicate or write 1 kasi yung 1 ay understood na kahit hindi natin isulat. So, therefore, 9 times 1 is equal to 9 and then copy b. So, our given expression, ito, is equal to 9b. Okay? Let's have another. Simplify 2 raised to a raised to 0. 2 times a raised to 0 plus the product of 2a raised to 0 plus 2 raised to 0a. Tingnan nyo yung pagkakaiba-iba niya na. Tingnan natin kung saan ba naka-power si 0. Here, we have, here, ang 0 ay power ni A only. So, that is why 2 times ang a raised to 0 ay 1. Plus, bakit siya naging 1? Yan. Kasi, ang naka-power sa 0 here ay yung mismo nasa loob ng parenthesis. Ibig sabihin, lahat. So, that is equal to 1. Plus, here, ang power na 0 naman ay na kay 2 lamang. Wala kay A. So, therefore, ang 2 raised to 0 ay equal sa 1 times, yan, kopyahin natin si A. Now, isimplify lamang natin to. We have 2 times 1 is equal to 2 plus 1 plus 1 times A is equal to A. And then, simplify natin again si 2 plus 1 and that is equal to 3 plus, copy A, A. So, therefore, when this expression is simplified, the answer is 3 plus A. Let us have the last one. Let us simplify 4m times the product of n minus p raised to 0 divided by or all over 4m raised to 0. So this is, isa-isahin natin. So kopyahin si 4m times, since ang nasa parenthesis ay raised to 0, lahat yon ay equal to 1 na. Divided by 4, kopyahin. Si 0 ay power ni m, kaya ang m raised to 0 is equal to 1. So simplifying it, or we can cancel 4 as well as, yan, 1, correct. So ano na lang ang natira natin? Very good. That is equal to m. So, ibig sabihin, this expression is equal to m. I hope maliwanag lahat. So, that is all about zero exponents. Now, let us proceed discussing all about integral exponents. So, what is an integral exponent? So, let's say, for example, we have a raised to the n power. Ang ating exponent na n is any integers. Ano? So, it could be positive or a negative number. So, integer siya, kaya siya tinawag na integral exponents. Maliwanag? Okay. Let us simplify the following expressions. First, 3 raised to 4. So, that is equal to 3 times 3 times 3 times 3. Tama ba? And that is equal to 81. Ang ating base na 3, kapag minultiply ng 4 na beses, ay equal sa 81. Next, x cubed. That is equal to x times x times x, which is equal to, very good, x to the third power, or x cubed. Now, how about negative 4 squared? So here, ang may exponent na 2 ay sino? Or alin? Okay. Ang may exponent na 2 dito ay only 4. Hindi kasama si negative since wala naman siyang parenthesis. So, ibig sabihin, ang negative 4 quantity squared means, yan, negative times 4 times 4. Si 4 lamang ang minultiply ng dalawang beses, hindi kasama si negative. So, inilabas muna siya. So, 4 times 4 is equal to 16. And then copy the negative sign. So, negative 4 squared is equal to negative 16. Then, how about if nasa loob ng parenthesis si negative? So, we have negative 4 quantity squared. So, ibig sabihin, ang may power na 2 ay yung buong negative 4. So, therefore, this is equivalent when written as repeated multiplication into negative 4 times negative 4. And negative 4 times negative 4, as we all know, is equal to positive 16. Let us recall simplifying expressions having positive exponents, applying the laws of exponents. So we have 3x raised to the 5th power, y to the 6th power, divided by x cubed, y to the 4th power. If you notice, lahat sila ay may positive exponents. Okay, so in simplifying this, we need to apply the laws of exponents. That is the quotient rule. So we have 3 times x. Anong ginagawa natin kapag same bases? Okay, sinusubtract natin yung exponents. So that will become 5 minus 3. And then y to the 6th power and y to the 4th power, copy the same base, and then subtract the exponent, 6 minus 4. Simplifying, we have 3x squared, 5 minus 3 is 2, and 6 minus 4 is 2. So therefore, the answer is 3x squared y squared. Okay? Now, let us proceed discussing the negative exponents. So, let us have this example. Simplify x squared divided by x raised to the 4th power. So, applying the laws of exponents, we can have, ayan, quotient rule tayo. Copy the same bases and then subtract the numerator or the exponent of the numerator and the denominator. We have 2 minus 4. And 2 minus 4 is equal to, okay, that is x raised to the negative 2. So if you notice, our answer or final answer is raised to the negative 2. And since negative siya, hindi pa siya totally simplified. Okay? So there is a rule regarding negative exponents. So let us take a look on this different method. So the exponents is negative. Use factoring to simplify the expression. I-try naman natin yung factoring or yung repeated multiplication in order to simplify that expression. Here, x squared divided by x to the fourth is equal to x times x ang x squared, tama ba? And then x raised to the fourth is x times x times x times s. Now, using cancellation, we can have, yan, makakancel natin yon. Another, cancel ulit. So, ibig sabihin, wala nang natira sa ating numerator, tama ba? Except for 1. May 1 pa rin yan. So, how about here sa denominator? Okay, may natirang dalawang x. So, meaning to say, that is equal to 1 over x squared. So, tama ba? Okay. Since parehas naman ang ating expression na sinimplify in two different methods, this means that x raised to the negative 2 is also equivalent to 1 over x squared. So, dito wala na tayong negative exponent. Dito, meron tayong negative exponent. So, therefore, x raised to negative 2 is equal to 1 over x squared. Let us take note that the negative sign in the exponent means the reciprocal. Thus, a raised to the negative n is equal to 1 over or divided by a raised to n. Ibig sabihin, ang negative sign pala ng exponent, ibig sabihin reciprocal siya ng number na yon. Similarly, if the expression with negative exponent is in the denominator, get its reciprocal to express the exponent as positive. Pag sinabing reciprocal class, kung ang number na yon ay nasa numerator, dadalhin natin siya sa denominator. The same as, kapag ang number ay nasa denominator, ilalagay natin siya sa numerator. So that is what reciprocal means. So therefore, ang 1 divided by a raised to negative n is equal to a raised to n. So, paano po nangyari yon? Di ba sabi natin, babalik na rin natin yung position ng numerator and denominator. So, here, kapag ang a raised to n ay kinuha natin ang reciprocal, nawawala na yung negative. So, nagiging positive na siya. So, mangyayari, naging a raised to n divided by si 1 nasa denominator na. Ito po ay magiging over 1. At alam naman natin, kapag ang denominator ay 1, we don't need to write it. Tama ba? Okay. The same as this one. Ang a raised to negative n, meron po yang over 1. Kung kaya, nung kinuha natin ang reciprocal, naging positive na yung negative exponent. Kaya nangyari, si a raised to negative n, inilagay natin sa denominator, naging positive na si n. And then yung 1 na nasa denominator, napapunta siya sa ating numerator. So that is what we mean by reciprocal. Now, let's have our example, x raised to the negative 3. So applying the rule, we can have, very good, 1 over x cubed. Inilagay natin siya sa denominator, so naging positive yung ating exponent. Once we get its reciprocal, nawawala na po si negative exponent. Another, kapag naman fraction, nasa denominator naman ang ating negative exponent, just like 1 over x raised to the negative 3. To make it positive, get its reciprocal. So meaning, si x to the negative 3, ilalagay natin sa numerator. So that is x cubed over 1. And x cubed over 1 is equal to x cubed. Nakuha ba? Good. Applying the rule for a negative exponent, let us simplify the following. First, 3x cubed y to the 6th power divided by x to the 5th y to the 4th power. So let us observe the exponents of each variable. Let the variable with a greater exponent remain in its position, but subtract the smaller exponent from the larger exponents. So ito po yung technique in order to simplify it easily. Since nakita na natin na doon pa lang sa variable na x, ang exponent natin sa numerator ay 3, while dito sa ating denominator ay 5. Ibig sabihin, mas maliit si numerator sa denominator. Kapag po ating sinubtract si 3 by 5, it will result to a negative number. Tama ba? Okay, so ibig sabihin, magiging x to the negative 2. At habang dito, so y to the 6th, and then y to the 4th power, 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. So, positive number siya. So, para hindi na tayo malito, or hindi na kayo malito, in reciprocating the terms, ganito na lang ang gawin natin. Let the variable with greater exponent, hayaan daw natin yung variable na mas mataas ang exponent. Same basis tayo ha. Remain in its position. Hayaan daw natin yung mas malaking exponent na nasa kanyang position. Dalawang position lang naman yan. It's either in the numerator or the denominator. Pero isusubtract daw natin yung smaller exponent. Kagaya dito sa x, ito ang isusubtract natin. Dito sa y, itong smaller exponent ang isusubtract natin kay 6. Naunawaan? Okay. So, that will be equal to, yan. So, kopyahin si 3 kasi wala naman tayong dinivide sa denominator. So, yung y, since ang y ay mas larger than, y to the 6 ay larger than y to the 4th, sabihin, hayaan natin siya sa position na yan. So, that is y to the 6th. Pero, i-minus natin yung exponent ng ating, yung smaller exponent. So, that is 4. Kaya po siya naging 6 minus 4. Nakuha? And then, since ang x to the 5th natin is larger than x cubed, hayaan natin si x to the 5th na nasa denominator. Nasa kanyang position pa din. Pero, sinubtract natin ang exponent ng smaller exponent. Kaya po, naging x raised to the 5 minus 3. Nakuha ba? Okay, I hope so. Next, let us simplify. So, 3, kopyahin, y, kopyahin, and then 6 minus 4 is equal to 2. Kaya po siya naging y squared. Divided by 5 minus 3 is 2, x squared. So, therefore, kita nyo na hindi na tayo nakakome up ng negative exponent. Kasi ginamit natin yung technique. Na diretso tayo sa positive exponents. So, therefore, this expression is equal to 3y squared divided by x squared. Let us have another. 28a to the 5th power, b to the 6th power, c, all over or divided by 7a raised to the 5th, b to the 4th, c cubed. So, ganun ulit ang gawin natin. Let us observe the variables and then let the variable with greater exponent remain in that position. And then, subtract natin yung smaller exponent. Pagdating sa numerical, gawin muna natin, or i-divide muna natin. Can we divide 28 by 7? Okay, correct. So, 28 divided by 7 is 3. So, saan po natin ilalagay si 3? That is 4, sorry. 28 divided by 7 is 4. So, saan natin isusulat si 4? Sa numerator or sa denominator? Correct. Sa numerator. Because, mas malaki sa 28 kay 7. So, that is equal to 4. Then, a to the 5th, parehas lamang naman siya. Kaya po naging, nasa numerator, 5 minus 5. And then, b to the 6th, b to the 4th, mas malaki si b to the 6th, kaya remain in that position. b to the 6th minus yung exponent na 4. Then, all over, nawala na si c. Bakit? Kasi mas malaki si c cube. Kaya po, remain in that position sa denominator, And then, minus na lang natin ang exponent nung smaller exponent natin. So, that is 1. May 1 tayo doon. So, 3 minus 1. Malinaw ba? Okay, let us continue. Let us simplify the exponents. So, we have, copy the 4. 5 minus 5 is 0. 6 minus 4 is 2. 3 minus 1 is 2. So, again, meron pa ba tayong pwedeng i-simplify? Yes, meron pa tayong a raised to 0. And a raised to 0 is equal to 1. So, therefore, i-multiply natin. So, that is 1. 4 times 1 is 4. B squared over C squared. So, this is the final answer. Okay? So, let us have another. What if the given is like this? The quantity of 5 minus 2 raised to the power of 5 times, yung dot na yon sa gitna means multiplication, times 3 raised to the negative 3 plus this quantity of 5 plus 2 to the power of 0. So, isa-isahin natin yung bawat expression. So, this is 5 minus 2, 3. Kopyahin yung power na 5 times 3 to the negative 3. Yan, kopyahin lang muna natin ulit. And then, ang 5 plus 2 raised to the 0 power is equal to 1. Sinimplify na yon. Next, we have, since parehas ang bases natin, since di ba multiplication to, parehas ang base, 3 at saka 3. So, we can apply here the law of exponent, yung product rule. So, we have copy the same base, copy the same bases, and then add the exponent. So, 5 plus negative 3, that is 5 minus 3, plus 1. Kopyahin si 1. Now, isimplify natin yung exponent of 5 minus 3. So, that is 3 squared plus 1. And 3 squared is equal to 9. 9 plus 1, 9 plus 1 is equal to 10. Okay? To help you master simplifying expressions with positive, negative, and zero exponents, let us have another example. Let's say, for example, we have the given expression 8 squared raised to the power of negative 1 times 10 minus 8 raised to the power of 14 times 4 raised to the negative 2. Isa-isahin natin ang bawat expression in order to simplify it. Unahin natin ito. First expression, 8 squared raised to the power of negative 1. So, we all know that we can apply here the power rule. Wherein, kasi may power na dito, may power pa ulit na negative 1. So, therefore, following the rule, imumultiply lamang natin ang ating exponents. 2 times negative 1 is equal to negative 2. Next. Okay, itong 10 minus 8 raised to the power of 14, pwede nating isimplify muna yung nasa loob ng parentheses. So, 10 minus 8 is equal to 2. Then, copy the exponent 14 times 4 raised to the negative 2. So, we have, yan. So, here, since we ang 8, ang 2, at ang 4, ay pwede natin siyang kunin ang exponential form in which yung base natin ay magiging pare-parehas na 2. Dahil alam naman natin na ang 2 times 2 times 2 ay equal sa 8. Diba? Tama ba? 2 times 2, 4 times 2, 8. So, 2 times 2 times 2 is equal to 8. So, isinulat lang natin siya or nire-write natin siya into exponential form. Naging 2 cubed raised to the power of negative 2. Kopya. And then ito, nasa 2 na siya to 14. And 4 raised to the negative 2 ay equal sa, di ba ang 4 ay pwede nating isulat na 2 raised to 2? Tama ba? Okay. And raised to the negative 2, kopyahin lamang natin yon. So, dito, pare-parehas na yung bases natin na 2. So, simplify muna natin itong may power rule. So, we have 3 times negative 2, negative 6. Then, kopyahin to. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4. Since pare-parehas yung bases natin, we can apply the product rule in which we have 2, kopyahin, and then, ang gagawin natin sa exponents ay i-add lamang natin. Negative 6 plus 14 plus negative 4. Nakuha ba? So, we have, negative 16 plus 14 plus negative 4, that is equal to positive 4. So, therefore, we have 2 raised to 4. And 2 raised to 4 means 2 times 2 times 2, which is times 2, which is equal to, okay, we have 16. So, therefore, itong expression na to, when simplified, is equal to positive 16. Lastly, we have 5 minus 2 quantities raised to the power of 5 times 3 raised to the negative 8 plus 5 plus 2 raised to the power of 0. So, unahin ulit natin itong nasa loob ng parenthesis. 5 minus 2 is 3. Then raised to the power of 5 times 3 raised to the negative 8 plus. Bakit to naging 1? Ayan, kasi po, ang kanya pong exponent ay 0. So, we have 1. So, we have 3 raised to the 5th power is equal to, and when multiplied by 3 raised to the negative 8, pwede natin i-apply ang product rule, which means that we will copy same base natin, which is 3. And then yung 5 at saka negative 8 ay, i-add lamang natin. So that is equal to 3. 5 minus 8 is, i-minus natin, plus 1. 5 minus 8 is equal to negative 3. So, kopyahin lang ulit natin yung 1. 3 times or raised to the power of negative 3, that is equivalent to 1 over 3 cubed. Paano nangyari yun? Di ba, applying the rule for a negative exponents, ilalagay lamang natin siya sa denominator. Kunin natin yung reciprocal niya. From numerator, inilagay natin siya sa denominator, so naging 3 cubed. 1 over 3 cubed plus 1. 1 over 3 cubed, 3 cubed is equal to 3 times 3 times 3. That is 27. So we have 1 over 27 plus 1. And simplifying these fractions, 1 over 27 plus 1, that is equivalent to 28 over 27. So, ganyan po mag-simplify ng ating expressions having integral exponents and zero exponents. Maliwanag ba? Okay, so that's it for today.
So this is the end of my video tutorial. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you learned a lot. So please don't forget to subscribe for more video updates.